Assembly. Today we celebrate a different Veterans Day. With COVID-19, we have dispensed with the usual service and present this video tribute. It's made of parts from last year combined with socially distant parts taped this year. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, November 11th, 1918, the guns stopped. It was a moment to be celebrated as the largest and deadliest war up until that time came to an end. We still celebrate that moment, only today we call it Veterans Day. War is never anything to celebrate, but peace is. The peace in between wars is brought to you mainly by our veterans. We honor our fallen on Memorial Day. Veterans Day, however, is for all who served. While many veterans are humble, there is no such thing as an insignificant military service. Our national anthem, sung by Mrs. Jerry Sestarsik.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Prayer by our chaplain, Todd Capuzzo.
Today we honor our veterans, worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called upon to serve and protect their country. We pray that you will bless them for their unselfish service in the continual struggle to preserve our freedoms, our safeties, and our country's heritage for all of us. Bless them abundantly for the hardships they face, for the sacrifices they made, for their many different contributions to America's victory over tyranny and oppression. We respect them, we thank them, we honor them. We are proud of them. We pray that you will watch over these special people and bless them with peace and happiness.
Now we will have our traditional Veterans Remembrance readings.
The chaplain will offer prayer.
O God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories thou have granted us. To us and to those people who have united with us to stamp out the evils of aggression, intolerance, and greed. We beseech thee to bring the blessings of our understanding to the families and friends, in this and other lands, of those who have given their lives that men may be free. Grant, O God, that those closest to the fallen may mingle the pain of their losses with the ennobling light of sacrifice and civilization, sacrifice for a better world, for this and other generations yet unborn. Grant us too, O God, the courage to so live with the family of nations around the world that the end of the strife will be the beginning of enduring peace. Grant us patience in planning with our fellow men and women in a world which nations may resolve their differences by peaceful means. Touch thou the souls of people in every land with the enduring light of wisdom, so they may form a brotherhood which to strive to further the arts of peace under laws and ethics blessed by thy love. Grant us now thy continued blessing upon unity and strength that makes victories possible in war, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen.
On this day, Veterans Day, we are commemorating the service of all veterans of all wars. We remember how men and women set aside their civilian pursuits to serve their nation's cause, defending the freedom of mankind and preserving our precious American heritage. We believe our strength on the field of battle on the supply lines which nourished our armed might lay in the justice of our cause against the forces of evil. We believe our determination made us better warriors because we fought with our minds and our hearts as well as our bodies. We recognize service to our country, and her cause does not end with the termination of military service. We continue our endeavors in behalf of an honorable world peace with a feeling of profound gratitude to God and to the men and women who gave their lives as their part of the cause of this noblest of causes. Out of blood and sweat, we learned of purpose, sacrifice, tolerance, bravery, and discipline. These are solid foundation stones upon which a great nation is built. In our continuing quest for an honorable world peace, we must cultivate these virtues.
The waging of war involves more than just the combatants who fight in the field of battle. The fighting forces begin at the fireside and in the hometowns. The repercussions of war's terrible brutality have chilled the heart and dimmed the hopes and dreams of many a loved one left behind on the home front. While the horrors of the battlefield may not have been our experience, we have lived with the terrifying loneliness created to answer an aggressor's challenge. In waging war, we have moved forward with a unity of purpose which made us strong, forgetting pettiness, egotism, and pride. Our hearts beat in tune with those in other nations fighting for freedom and the dignity and opportunity of mankind. In our constant quest for an honorable world peace, there is need for unity of purpose if we truly are to move toward a brighter tomorrow.
If there is glory in war, it is almost incredibly spirit which it engenders. Those who offer their lives sacrifice their all. With greed and brutality are epidemic. Too often it is those later which persist in the peace that follows. Let us strive to see the same spirit of self-sacrifice is cultivated in peace as has been exhibited in war. It behooves us to rear new standards of success to inspire youth in peace as youth was inspired in war. Public honor must be given where public honor is due, not to be manipulated of a market. The seeker also profits power or position, but rather let us honor the heroes of science who alleviate human suffering and carry to greater heights the standards of civilization. Let us honor those who in public service seek not how much they may secure from the nation, but how much they can give. Let us honor those who devote their lives to that education which will lead our children onto live and love and learn and, and laugh, and as we've only dreamed of doing. Let us honor those veterans who carry into ordinary affairs of life a noble idealism and secure capacity for self-devotion. Let us translate the devotion of war into a devotion of peace. Let us will to live as well as die for our country.
The hurts of war fall alike upon those who wear the same uniform, no matter how they may differ in race, creed, or culture. Those who fight together suffer together to achieve a common aim. In the similarity of battle dress, there is a common denominator. The common purpose, the sharing of danger and suffering, which brings in time of war a tolerance which adds strength to the cause. As we put aside the brown and blue and green fabrics that made us one people on the battlefield, we can hold in our minds that tolerance we have achieved. In tolerance, there is progress toward a better and happier world.
Courage is one of the virtues born of war. The courage of individuals in the face of danger and the courage of nations to protect the weak and punish the aggressor. There is bravery to be shown in peace as well. Many recapture the courage in which turned the wilderness into cities, that bound men together under government. We can turn slums into comfortable homes, turn uncertainty into certainty. We can reach new heights of civilization and opportunity for the men and women of this nation if we have the courage to expect and work for the better way of life. There can be romance in this challenge also. The bravery that fights for political, social, economic, and spiritual gains may be more difficult to practice, may be unsung when achieved, but it is all the more worth striving for.
War has taught us the lesson of obedience to command. The game is more than the player, and the ship is more than the crew. There is a greater discipline we must now pursue if we are to preserve this virtue of obedience in our quest for an honorable world peace. That is, obedience to the laws we, ourselves, make the voluntary discipline of citizenship. Our system of government, we may change the laws by majority rule. We may persuade our neighbors to new theories or new courses. We may advocate in free elections the choice of veterans or plans. As good citizens, we follow the choice of the majority, whether that choice be the individuals or not. This is the virtue of discipline which must be ours in peace. This is the lesson we must learn at home, in school, on the playing fields, in organizations, in the community, and the nation. It is the lesson of voluntary obedience to the decisions of the majority. We must not be unmindful either of the conclusions of other peoples with whom we have enjoined in the question for an honorable world peace. This is the higher order of disciplines.
In time of peace, we can use the ennobling virtues of war and put behind us its ugliness and suffering. In peace, we shall go forward together to scale new heights of achievement in unity of purpose, in sacrifice for the common good, in tolerance for those of different faiths and creeds, in bravery to fight for social and economic gains, and in a discipline of good citizenship. We shall move forward in the sight of God as a strong nation in a peaceful world.
Normally, at this point, we play the medley of veterans' service songs. Unfortunately, and we have them stand at that point. This year, we're going to obviously not be standing, but we will still do the medley of veterans and military service songs. Welcome from our commander of the American Legion, Euclid Post 343, Chris Murphy.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to begin today by recognizing all those among us who have been a part of the great brotherhood and sisterhood we call the U.S. military. Our veterans, active duty service members, guardsmen, and reservists. It is your service and sacrifice that has kept our country safe and free. No matter which branch you served in, whatever your job path or how many years you served, raising your hand and committing yourself to service in the military was a brave and selfless act. One that resulted in few guarantees of where you would be assigned, whether and where you might deploy, and in some cases, if you would return home in one piece or at all. Thanks to all those who have served and those who continue to serve today, America can sleep peacefully at night. Military men and women know the risks, but they accept them in many cases so that others won't have to. God bless you all, bless our veterans, and bless the United States of America.
At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce our mayor, Kirsten Holzheimer-Gale.
Thank you. To Chairman Kyrol, Commander Murphy, Joint Veterans Council representatives, honored Speaker Major Jenks, our valued and honored veterans, and to those joining us virtually, welcome and thank you for joining us for Euclid's virtual Veterans Day ceremony. I appreciate the invitation to be a part of this program. It is truly an honor. Veterans Day celebrates and honors America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, willingness to serve and sacrifice for our common good. Let me start by saying to all of the veterans, thank you for your service. I would like to thank Euclid Joint Veterans Council Chairperson Andy Kyrol, the American Legion Commander Chris Murphy, for their hard work in planning and hosting this program today. I truly appreciate being a part of this important and meaningful community event to honor those who served our country. I would like to recognize each of the organizations that make up the Euclid Joint Veterans Council. Euclid American Legion Post 343, Euclid Veterans Association, Jewish War Veterans Post 712, Polish Legion of American Veterans Post 31, Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1056, and Korean War Veterans Association, Lake Erie Chapter 112. On behalf of the City of Euclid, I thank all of you and your organizations for your continued service and support of our veterans, their families, and our community. To our veterans, thank you for answering the call to duty and serving our country. You gave of yourself for the betterment of our country to preserve our freedom, our American values, and our way of life. You made our armed forces the most respected in the world. You protected our freedoms and continued to provide inspiration and pride for all Americans. You are our hometown heroes. To the families of our veterans, we thank you as well. You faced challenges of your own while your loved ones served, and we thank you for what you have done and the sacrifices that you have made. Let us also keep in mind those who are serving today and their family members. We honor them and pray for their safe return of those who accepted the call to duty and to continue to protect our freedoms today. I would like to take just a minute to remember and honor the members of our Euclid Veterans organizations who are no longer with us. I know we all truly appreciate their service, their dedication, the impact on our city. While we miss their presence, their legacy will live on and be part of our city always. Euclid owes so much to our veterans and their families. After serving our country, our veterans came home and helped us build our community, raised their families here, ran businesses, volunteered, served in public office, and contributed to so many ways in building Euclid as a strong and vibrant community. Today, our veterans and their families continue to provide service and assist our community in so many ways. We thank you for your ongoing service, and we honor you today. While heartfelt and sincere, our words of thanks do not even come close to being enough to truly honor our veterans. As President John F. Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. While today's program provides us a meaningful way to honor our veterans, it is critically imperative that we honor them each and every day by our actions, through our ongoing care and support of U.S. veterans, and by our ongoing commitment and work for peace, justice, and liberty for all. To our veterans, again, we thank you for your service, dedication, and heroism. May God continue to bless you and your families, our community, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. In addition this year to the program is a second speaker. Tom Jenks, formerly president of the Greater Cleveland Joint Veterans Council and Euclid's most recent inductee into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. Tom?
Thank you, Andy. Good morning. What a great privilege it is to be here today, even under these circumstances. Thank you, Mayor Gale and the City of Euclid for hosting this Veterans Day ceremony. Throughout the nation's history, American soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, Coast Guard personnel have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom and to aid our friends and allies to turn back aggressors. When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner some 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are still true today. We can never repay the debt of gratitude to more than 650,000 American service members who have died in battle, or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans, over 800,000 of whom are still living today in the state of Ohio. An inscription on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. states, "Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and people they never met." The words were aptly equally to our World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, Gulf War, and more currently Iraq and Afghanistan veterans as well, all serving in foreign countries. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans, who are helping to maintain peace throughout the world. I believe that it's important to define a veteran, although each veteran is unique and has had unique experiences in the military. A common way to define a veteran is a person who has served honorably for over 180 consecutive days. Another definition is someone who has a DD-214. But neither of these really defines a veteran. A veteran is someone who is a civilian, and he or she stepped forward from the general population and since the end of the draft in 1973 has enlisted or been commissioned into the armed services. Someone who left their community as a civilian, served their time, and returned again as a civilian to contribute, to be a contributing member of their society and our community, as Mayor Gale has so well stated. It is possible that you know some of these fine people and may not even know that he or she is a veteran. Did you know that starting with General George Washington, 29 of our 45 presidents have served in the military, and most of them during a time of war? That 8 former presidents served in the Civil War, and 5 of those were from Ohio. It's ironic that another 8 future presidents also served in World War II. Some other examples of veterans from Ohio, who are coincidentally in the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, that you may or may not know, are Bob Evans. Yes, that Bob Evans of restaurant fame. The Indians' Bob Feller. Senator and astronaut John Glenn. Robert Redford. Dr. Lou, or Lou Holtz, who was commissioned as second lieutenant at Kent State University, as I recall, in 1953. I recently learned that General George Armstrong Custer is also an Ohio native and also in the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. And I always thought he was from Michigan. There are some 331 service members from Ohio who have been awarded the Medal of Honor and are also included in the Veterans Hall of Fame. Someone who's not from Ohio that you may not know as a veteran, Sam Walton of Walmart and Sam's Club, who served in the Army as an intelligence officer in World War II. The majority of veterans are not well known. They have served their time and returned home, but continue to serve in their communities, making them a better place. They may be active in the American Legion, the VFW, the Polish Legion of American Veterans, the Korean War Veterans, the Euclid Veterans Association, Jewish War Veterans. In any case, they are continuing to work to provide services or benefits to the Euclid community. I know that here in Euclid, we are blessed with a few Navy and Marine veterans who have continued to serve as Naval Junior ROTC instructors. I recall they had a fine marching unit in the 2019 Memorial Day Parade. This has been an outstanding program since its inception in 1994. Additionally, there are another 22 retired veteran military personnel currently serving the youth of the greater Cleveland area by instructing Army, Navy, and Air Force junior ROTC programs at 11 other high schools. Their mission is to motivate young people to be better citizens. Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all American veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifice, and to also thank the families and the communities for their support. Veterans Day, originally Armistice Day, from the ceasefire at the close of World War II on November 11th, 1918, is to honor all veterans, primarily those living, but all veterans, living or deceased, not to be confused with Memorial Day, which is to honor those who have gone before us. So it is fitting that we have at the close of this ceremony today a rifle volley and taps. God bless America, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Tom. Tom, by the way, is a former United States Army officer. Please stand. Sergeant of the Rifle Squad, prepare to salute our fallen comrades.
Squad, hot touch, hoop! Half, right, heights! Hard, hoops! Ready? Take aim, fire! Take aim, fire! Take aim, fire! March, hugs! Half left, heights! Free, set, hugs!
Such a beautiful song. Please stand and sing along. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, fly before. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my Thank you.
Our chaplain, Todd Capuzzo, will give us our final prayer.
God, please let every veteran of our nation, armed forces, feel truly and appropriately honored by the attention and the appreciation of their fellow citizens. Let no one feel forgotten or neglected. Let every man and woman, young and old, feel the deep and enduring gratitude of our nation and its inhabitants. Thank you.
In addition to foreign adversaries, many veterans have had to battle invisible threats to their mental health and well-being. More than 20 veterans a day take their own lives. Only those who experience firsthand the horrors of combat can understand why so many of these young men and women feel compelled to take such a drastic and permanent measure. The U.S. Army recently reported a 30% increase in suicides among its active duty troops in 2020. We must do everything possible to stop these needless deaths. Please remember to thank them. That kindness may save a life, the life of a veteran. Thank you for being with us today.